So, hi. It's been a few months since I have put a new video up. I guess I've just been busy and maybe I didn't want to share anymore for a while. You know, as a child of abuse, I guess let me start by saying how narcissistic of me to just assume that you know what my videos are about. I was abused as a child sexually and emotionally, and wanted to make some videos to, I guess, kind of just talk about where I came from and what happened and what happens next and how I have dealt with my issues. I'm turning 30 very soon. Very, very soon. Way too soon. And I always thought that by this time I would be at a certain place in my life. I am not at that place in my life. And I've since learned that maybe 30 isn't when I get to that place. Maybe that time is 40, and maybe it's not even until 50. It's funny that as the older that you get and as the years go on, each age doesn't seem quite so old anymore. 30 is not nearly as old as it was when I was 15. But now that I'm 29, 30 is not so old. But I'll tell you that it's hard. I have a child, and I am so not the best mother. I am weak, and I am mean, and I don't know what I'm doing, because I never had that example. So I don't know sometimes. I don't know how to cope, and I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm teaching her the right things. And you know, a lot of abused children, I mean probably most of them at one point at least in their lives, they think in their heads, you know, if I ever have children, I will not be abusive to them. I won't scream at them. I won't hit them. I won't, touch them. Whatever it is that happened to you. Normally you say, when I'm a parent, I'm not going to do those things. I'm going to, be a good parent. The only problem with that is that we didn't have that good example to learn from and to know how to implement. And so when actual life happens, sometimes you just don't know what to do. So I have that issue going on, and then I have an issue of, I guess, some super loneliness, and therefore some depression. I live in a small country town. I don't know anybody, and frankly, some of the locals here scare me. They're mostly good people, but I don't know any of them really, and I'm alone a whole lot of the time. And honestly, I feel like a part of who I am, or at least who I close my eyes and can see myself as, I think that person has gone away. I don't know where she is. And that's tough. That's really, really tough when you see yourself start to disappear. So what is the point to all of this, the bottom line? I guess just that it doesn't ever all go away. It's there, and you have to learn how to deal with it. I have to watch myself when my child does something that I don't want her to. Because if I started to hit her, I wouldn't stop sometimes. I can feel myself be that angry. And so you have to constantly be aware of your actions as an adult child abuse victim. You have to keep yourself in check. And you have to find ways to deal with the feelings that you feel, whether it's a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist or whatever, or a friend, or writing, or playing music, or going for a walk, or, making string art, whatever it is that you can do that brings you to that calm place, the place where you can be rational and think about what you're doing. That's kind of what you have to do in order to keep yourself on the bright side of society. Because it is a struggle as an abuse victim not to abuse again, not to complete that cycle one more time. And I can't say that I think I'm always successful. I think there have been times where I have said things to my child that I probably shouldn't have said, or at least not in the manner that I said them. Yeah. It's tough to be a victim when it happens. And it's tough to know that as a victim, I have to deal with it for the rest of my life. Because no matter how okay I think I might be, it affects me. What happened affects me. In fact, I am so over. I remember being in high school and saying to a friend of mine, if I ever get to X amount of pounds, shoot me. I passed those X amount of pounds about 37 pounds ago. I'm not a picture of health, I guess, as far as my mental status goes. I mean, I'm not crazy, and I'm not going to go out and shoot anybody, or, I'm not going to go do anything. But I have been happier in my life, that's for sure. But at some point, even though you are a victim, and even though that stays with you, and those feelings are still there, and the uncertainty of what you might be doing is there, even though there's all of that, you still have the responsibility as an adult to behave rationally. And that's something that you have to make a conscious effort of at all times. You can't just go off one time and beat the crap out of your kid. You can't do that once. And then say, oh, I gotta keep that in check. No, that's not how it works. You can't go and diddle your daughter, just one time and say, oh, I gotta keep that in check. You can't call your kid a worthless piece of shit and then the next day wake up and say, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. You can't do those things if you're going to end the cycle. And I guess that ultimately is what I'm trying to do, is help people end the cycle. Thank you and good night.